I truly think that there's something that we don't realize when we are born in this earth. It's like there's certain things that you don't have a choice about, like fame, for example. Now, we have different examples of fame. Like, you have people that are out with it, you have people that are famous, but they're still modest about it. They're not going out and showing themselves off. There's different types of fame out there. And we don't generally see that. We kind of see one type of fame and we're not accustomed to the other types. And, to ask yourself, do you want to be famous? It sounds like a ludicrous thing because it feels like it's something that is handed to us and we have to accept it graciously. But I don't think of it like that. I don't think we have a choice. The fact that we're born here means that we're famous and we're gonna have to deal with it one way or another. Like, we can hide our face like Sia did, but eventually you'll show yourself. You know what I mean? Like, it's not something that you want to hide forever. Like, it seems like it's customizable to us because there are some people that they generally hide very well from fame. Like, there was this guy on this one Twitch streamer's video thing. He makes music, but he doesn't show his face, and he doesn't even show his face. He doesn't even like his name to be said on camera. So, like, when you come around him, like, there's no cameras. It's just him vibing. If you know him, you know him. If you don't, then you don't. But he is in these high class places. So, like, he doesn't want to be famous, but he still goes to these famous parties. You know what I mean? All right, let's switch topics real quick. So, you know how famous people, they start doing the same thing, like I said with that guy, where he doesn't want to be famous. He doesn't want to be seen by anybody, but he goes to these parties to show off that he's famous. He likes being famous in front of certain people, but not all people. And that makes you, I lost my train of thought. That makes you think, like, what's the point of fame at that point? You know what I mean? Like, why have it if you're not going to show it off? I kind of lost my train of thought there. I knew I was going to because I jumped topics. But that's what this video is basically about. It's just analyzing fame in different ways and why it's like something that it's already there. It's kind of like being the poorest of the poor and rising to the top. But in this life, it's a little bit different. It's not the way that you think it is. Like, you start from the bottom and you stay there for a very long time. It might be a few lifetimes. There might be 10 lifetimes. Like, you stay at the bottom and you're trying to bring yourself back up. And these people that are like, I don't even want to be famous. All I want is money. But they'll understand what fame is. And I do have a take on that. Where does fame come from? So when I think about that, I know one place that it's from. It's from a mental illness. The Weeknd says that in one of his songs, fame is a disease. And I completely understand that from a different perspective now. It's like when I got schizophrenia, I became 100% full on famous overnight. And it's kind of like, what if one of my videos blow up and I wake up one day and then everybody just knows me. I have 1 million views and stuff like that. And I have people calling me saying like, yo, do you know what's going on? I'm like, no, I don't know what's going on. It's like, one of your videos just blew up. But it's more of like the disease way of looking at it. It's like One day you are just a regular person, just working your 9 to 5. You're going to ShopRite and you're stocking up stuff. And then the next thing you know, like you're doing something, like you are you are posting videos online or something like that. And then it blows up and you're just like, oh, I'm famous now. That's exactly how schizophrenia does it. One day you're fine. The next day, boom, you're 100% famous. You don't have a choice. You know what I mean? But the fact that you don't have a choice gives you a new perspective on life. You know what I mean? Like if I have truly no choice in this matter, how will I take it? What will I do with it? How will I control it? What's on your mind 24/7? What are you trying to establish? Because when you get fame, it gives you this idea that you have to do something for these people. Like it's like they gave it to you, so you have to thank them every single time. But then when you see it in the perspective of, no, I got this because I was smoking weed and then I got schizophrenia. No, I got this overnight. Like I did this by myself. I didn't get your permission first. So you just have a person that has a completely different perspective of how to deal with fame. And I think that that's really cool. And people, scientists would, I think, would love to study that. But in a way, it's like you're famous in the medical world, but you're not famous in the outside world. So that's what's got you thinking right there. Like you're famous in the medical world, but not in the real world. And I was thinking to myself, like, if we are famous in that way, why don't we just already make these people full on famous? Like, why not? Then it got me thinking of corruption and stuff like that. Like you can't do that to a person. And my question is, why not? Because that person has already felt it. That person has already experienced it. Who else is better to hold that title than them? I'm just moving this all over the place. Oh, that shows the television. I can't show TV. Who is better to hold that title than them? Do I feel like I deserve to be famous? That's the thing. It's like you want me to be modest about it. You want me to be like, no, I don't think I should. But if you want to type thing, because it's true. It's like I got famous and then I immediately started doing everything wrong. And I feel like that's what a lot of people start to do. Like Justin Bieber is a big example of this. He got famous and then he started doing drugs at one point and he started popping pills and smoking weed and he was caught on camera saying some racist stuff. And people don't realize that with schizophrenia, you go through the same thing without the people, though, without cameras watching you. But you feel like, for me, for example, it felt like I was being watched the whole time. So yes, there weren't cameras, but imagine secret cameras everywhere, like cameras in the corner, cameras on the pictures, cameras on the television. And you're sitting there like, oh my gosh, I'm being watched. And one day in your life, you're not thinking this at all. Like, it's not something that goes through your head. And then the next day, it's like you wake up to it and you're like, oh my gosh, they've been watching me the whole entire time. So that's why I say, like, should these people be famous? Like, yes, they should be famous. Eventually, everybody will become famous. You know what I mean? Like, this world is so vast that these people that want to take up the torch will take up the torch, and the people that want to stay in the background, they just want to be background characters. They will always be background characters, but people will know them as well. Like, they have their own set of friends and they have their own accomplishments, and if they're able to hold you up, they should be able to hold themselves up. So when people say like we're in a simulation, I kind of see that, because this is just a pretext of what is to come. Like, it could be this times 100. You have 100 different planets with life on them, and we're not the only ones out there anymore. But that, when I thought that I was being watched, was it like aliens that I think was watching me? No, I couldn't like comprehend that. I couldn't wrap my head around that aliens are watching me. Eventually, a little bit later, I was like, no, there's definitely alien activity. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like with schizophrenia, you get your mind your mind is made of electrons and shit like that. Not electrons, electricity. And you're just like viewing one part of the world. All right. You're like a television set that stays on one channel. And then all of a sudden, when you get schizophrenia, it starts to get interference from different channels. So now you have these different channels, and you were like, no, there was only this one channel that existed in this world. Where are these other channels coming from? And that's kind of how schizophrenia is like. And you start to see these different channels, and you're like, holy crap, there's more people out there. And you get this more intense sensation of like, not only are there people out there, but you can feel them. Like, they're messing with your mojo type deal. Because I remember when I was in New Brunswick, and I was talking to this guy that wanted to start a business, and we were using me as the catalyst. Like, it was my clothing brand idea, and TJ was like, you have a good thing going here. Let's start to build on that. And I kept telling him, I'm like, no, all I do is I sell drugs. That's all that I do. And he's like, no, we can do more. So we were talking to this guy, and my mind was being interfered with. Like, I couldn't stay on topic. Like, they were saying different stuff. Like, they were having a full on conversation, and my mind was completely somewhere else, getting somebody else's waves. You know what I mean? It's like watching TV, and then there's static, and you see another channel on top of your channel. That happens a lot with radios, where it's like you hear static and you hear one radio station, and you hear static and you hear another radio station. That's essentially what happened. So I was sitting there like, oh my gosh, what is this guy talking about? And then after we were done talking, I don't even know if we were done talking, I was like, yo, bro, I gotta go sit down. And then I just walked off. What was I thinking? That is the crazy part. What was I thinking? I was thinking that he wanted me I'm not even gonna explain it, bro. Not yet, bro. It just sounds ridiculous when I think back to it. I'm like, what was I thinking? Why? I'll tell you. I was thinking that he was telling me to suck his dick, and that completely threw me off. That throws anybody off. It's like, what am I here for? It's like, you're here to suck my dick, and you're just like, what? No way. He's like, yes way. And you know that it's not real. Like, while it was happening, I was like, oh my gosh, no, 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 no. I was telling myself, no, 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 no. But it was too real to not think that it was real. But the fact that I didn't have to do it showed that, okay, this is reality and this is fake. But that's what was going through my mind. It was absolutely crazy. TJ had no idea about this. I was watching a couple of guys talk about their schizophrenic experiences, and they were talking about how everything started having different meanings. Like the sirens outside meant that something bad was going to happen. The flapping of bird wings meant that you were in heaven. Honking or cars that are honking is telling you to pay attention to that moment. Something bad is about to happen. There is a lot of negativity that comes from it. Sometimes there's positive things. You have to look for the positive, but unfortunately it's mostly negative. And that's why they claim that it's a disease, because you shouldn't be thinking like that, but you are. So it's kind of like the world is saying it's fake, but they're also saying that it's real. They're like, it's real fake. You're just like, what are you talking about? It's real and fake at the same time. Like, this person is going through these things, and we're supposed to be like, no, it's not real. Because if you start to believe in these things, you might commit suicide or something like that. And what about my own suicide attempt? There was no real thought process behind it. There was absolutely no thought process behind it. It just happened. So I was in the car and I just started taking medication until I got to 30 pills. And then I went to my friend's house, and then I drove back here, and I just collapsed in front of my sisters. And then they took me to the hospital and they pumped me, and I didn't die. But what sucks about attempted suicide is that now you have to live with it for the rest of your life. Like, you're always checking yourself. You're always like, am I feeling suicidal right now? And it's like, no, you're fine. You're fine. Nobody tells you about that part of suicide, that it does make you wonder at every moment. You're like, bro, I don't want to die right now. Even though you're doing something as simple as cutting a piece of garlic, and you're like, I don't want to die right now. I don't want to die right now. So, yeah, that was just a bunch of different topics that I just threw together because I wanted to make a video and I couldn't think of what to really say. I have a list of stuff that I should say, but I don't know. I don't think too much about it. But people want, perfect things, and you're not going to get those perfect things. it's going to be messy, and you're trying to get into a mind that has been taught to completely block out everybody else because they're not that important. You're trying to reprogram a mind at 21 years old when all the programming that has been done to it has gotten it to that point. And people don't understand when they say like programming and why are you scared to talk about what's going on in your head. They're like, what type of program are you talking about? Where does this programming come from? And it mostly comes from the police. Like, nobody wants to deal with them. And they're supposed to be your protector. But then as a black male, my whole life I've been told, watch out for the police, watch out for the police. So when you have a disease that directly correlates with the police, it kind of throws you completely off. Everything becomes very negative now. And people don't realize that they are adding to the negativity of mental health. People wonder where we get all these negative thoughts from. It's from you guys. But you're saying that even if it was a positive life, even if everything was going your way, you would still think negatively. It would help a little more if we had more trust with each other. We just don't have trust with each other. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed my ramblings and showing you my living room and my kitchen for a little bit. This is just literally just me rambling. Just me rambling. My bad, guys. But I hope you watch and you guys try to listen to other people other than what's on TV, because there's real people out there and they talk about real stuff. And unfortunately, you guys don't care about it unless it's perfect. And I'm just here to say that it doesn't have to be perfect for you to watch. Eventually you'll watch this stuff, but it'll be after I'm gone or after I go to jail or something like that. But yeah.